there, and a happy 4th of July to you, and thank you so much for being with us today. I'm Ashley Ruiz, and this is Weather Out West, an hour-long show where we showcase what's happening weather-wise across the western United States. Our meteorologists from sister stations in 8 regions will bring you daily forecast and explain different weather phenomena that's impacting people across the region. So you're going to find coverage from the PNW to the Mountain West, California, and Arizona. And when severe weather hits, we'll be the first to alert you if it could impact you, people, property. So first and foremost, let's dive in. We're going to start in Boise, which is in a first alert weather day due to thunderstorms and potentially even a flash flood risk. The biggest concern is a flash flood watch that's in place for portions of Idaho. Hector Mendoza has more.
Welcome, I'm Hector Mendoza here out in Boise, Idaho, and taking a look around the region here. We're looking at a soggy start here for this 4th of July, but we are expecting to see some hit or miss storms throughout the rest of the day. Some of them could turn severe, so that's something that we continue to pay attention to, at least as we continue on through our Friday. And the biggest concerns are going to be fire critical weather conditions and also the potential for some flash flooding that could be possible. So let's talk about the flash flooding watch that we have in place till about 2 p.m. for Friday. That is expected to see some torrential rain in portions of the west central mountains, the Boise Mountains, and places near the Sawtooth. So those burn scars there on the Wapiti fire that was there, that is something that could potentially have some flash flooding and debris flow come through there. So that's the main concern, as again, we do have a chance for some torrential rain coming along for some of those mountain areas. And out in southeast Oregon, a fire weather warning is set in place due to some of the scattered thunderstorms that could be rolling around in some of those areas and those gusty outflow winds that come along with some of those storms. So these are going to be the impacts we're going to be seeing for today. This is just for Independence Day. So 4th of July, we're going to see that early morning and afternoon and evening where we can see some of those showers and storms come along. So with that come damaging winds that could be possible, brief but heavy rain, lightning mixed with some of those fireworks there as they start to get lit off throughout the rest of the day is where we're going to see a chance for some of those higher fire dangers, and then blowing snow could impair visibility. So the need is to be very weather aware and flexible with some of those 4th of July plans later on into today. But then after that, we're expecting to see some relief as we head on into the weekend. Secure those loose items there, as we could have some very gusty winds for later on in today, and really have some caution there for some of those fireworks. But as we're looking at our satellite and radar picture, a very active Friday, active 4th of July with some areas seeing some lightning storms and some of that through the early morning hours. That will continue throughout the rest of the evening again, as we'd have a couple of shortwave systems that'll bring in some instability. So as we fast forward through this Friday, we could see a bit of a break in the afternoon coming and going and sort of returning there for the afternoon. But then as we head on into the evening, as many people are going to be out celebrating 4th of July, things will stay dry, and that is pretty much what's going to happen through the rest of the weekend. As the system makes its way on into the east, we're going to see some of those showers could stick around in some of the west central mountain areas as we look into early Saturday morning. But as we start to look into Sunday, temperatures will start to ramp up, and that's what we're going to see is nothing but sunshine, no clouds in the skies, and then we're going to see drier conditions come along as that will continue through the rest of the week heading into Monday and Tuesday. So again, very quickly, comfortably cool temperatures into the low 70s there as we head on into Ann Morrison Park for those that are going to participate in that fireworks spectacular there at 10:15. But again, looking on into the weekend after the active Friday that we've had, we're going to expect to see temperatures stick around into the low 80s there with lots of sunshine for Saturday. And then we start to slowly climb into the low 90s. And this is going to kickstart a warming trend that will continue through the middle of next week. So looking at here at Long Valley, specifically into portions of the west central mountains, those temperatures will climb up into the low 90s as we get on into Tuesday. And then we'll continue into the 80s through the rest of the week. For Twin Falls and places in the Magic Valley, that we're going to see those temperatures get up near 100 degrees there as we head on into Tuesday. Lots of sunshine sticks around. And here in Boise and many spots in the Treasure Valley, we do hit those triple digits as we head on into Tuesday and Wednesday. We see calmer conditions for the weekend. That sunshine really starts to continue all the way through. Very hot temperatures for Tuesday and Wednesday. And then we continue very warm with temperatures staying into the mid 90s as we head towards the end of the week.
Thanks so much, Hector. Just one the road before a really, really nice weekend. Next, we're going to take you to Denver, where they too have the chance for a couple of thunderstorms.
And I'm 9 News Weather Impact Team meteorologist Chris Bianchi here in Denver, Colorado, where summertime storms are a typical thing this time of year. Mid-80s for us on this 4th of July with some of those storms around, but they'll be mainly during the day part hours. But those 4th of July fireworks tonight should be on the okay side. So some good news in that respect, though. Again, some storms around for those barbecues during the day part hours. So as we look ahead, we've got some of those showers and storms around mainly between 1 and 6 p.m. for us up and down that I-25 corridor. The mountains will have a few storms as well. And then the eastern plains, some storms out in your vicinity. Then we'll those showers and rumbles of thunder off to the east, though could have a leftover storm or two in the mountains. But for the most part, things drying up after 6 p.m. for us across the Denver area. Again, those storms develop 1 to 6 p.m. We'll have them around. That could put a bit of a damper on some of those afternoon and evening fireworks, or I should say barbecues. And then by the fireworks, we got the Rockies, the Rapids at home with those fireworks shows that follow both of those games. Looking okay for both of those events, though we could have, again, 1 or 2 lingering showers into the evening time frame. Not too worried about those. We're basically going to be on the dry side after about 6 p.m. So here's how it kind of shakes on out. 7 a.m. to noon, we do have some clouds and showers. 1 to 6 p.m., a chance for storms. Then after that, it dries on up. 7-day forecast. Temperatures mostly going to be in the low to mid 90s. We're going to start to kind of really pile up those 90-degree days. Thursday, July the 3rd, was Denver's 3rd consecutive day at or above 90 degrees, 12th so far this year. We're going to really kind of pile on those 90-degree days as we head over the next little while. And also, afternoon showers and storms around mainly on Saturday and Sunday. Then for the middle part of next week, we start to dryen up and warm up with temperatures in the mid-90s for next Tuesday, Wednesday, and Thursday.
There's going to be lots of fireworks tonight, but here's a reminder. Look at the drought monitor. 44% of the state is really almost all west of the Continental Divide is under that drought. And there's also some restrictions to that, stage 1 restrictions. And here's the counties included with that: Eagle, Summit, Garfield. That's just some of them. And stage 1 equals no personal fireworks. Let me repeat that. No personal fireworks if you're under that stage 1 restriction. And so definitely be careful with that. But here's the good news, though. If you love fireworks and you always wondered, how does a firework get its color? Well, back in chemistry class, the periodic table, that's exactly how these fireworks get their color. If you love red, it uses strontium, and that's how strontium reacts to the heat, and it reacts differently, especially from the different types of colors. They're orange, calcium, yellow, sodium, green, barium, so forth and so forth. These are periodic tables. So if you've always wondered, how does the firework get that nice and beautiful color? Well, it's the periodic table and how that reacts to heat. But overall, what is your favorite color? And if you do have a favorite color, go ahead and email me. And most importantly, happy 4th of July to everyone.
My favorite is the orange, of course. Thank you so much, Jaden and Chris. Coming up after the break, we are going to take you to Phoenix, and where they're going to be dealing with a really, really nice holiday weekend before the heat cranks up. Next, let's go to Spokane, where they are also going to be dealing with pleasant temperatures before things really start to heat up once again.
Well, I'm Nicole Hernandez in Spokane, Washington, and if anyone hasn't told you already, happy 4th of July. We have a ton of events going on here in Spokane today. One of them, the Riverfront Summer Festival or Carnival, and I have some rings. It basically hasn't quite opened up yet, but the person who runs this booth left 4 rings on accident, and I have been taking advantage of it this morning, trying to make them in, enjoying oh, that was pretty good. Listen, I've been practicing all morning, and I haven't even come close to making one of them. It's just not possible is what I've decided. It's been fun though. There's a ton of events going on across the inland Northwest, and it's gonna be a pretty decent day to enjoy them. So take a look out over our beautiful Riverfront Park here in Spokane. Our photographer Nathan Brand panning that camera around to give you a beautiful view of our Spokane River right in the middle of downtown Spokane. The one thing I want to note from this live picture is how many clouds there are in the sky. It's interesting because the past few days we've actually been pretty sunny, and now we're going to start to see that cloud cover build in. Early this morning around 5 a.m. it was beautifully sunny with almost no clouds in the sky, and as the morning has gone on, more and more clouds have started to build their way into the area. So, you know, it is what it is, right? It's a 4th of July that's maybe going to be a little bit more temperate. You're not really going to be feeling the super hot heat from the sun, but maybe that'll be nice if you're out in a backyard barbecue, not sweating all day over the grill, right? So depending on what you're doing today, might be a bit different. Let's take a look at our weather headlines for the day, because that's our #1 headline right now. It's the fact that we're going to have a more cloudy 4th of July. Things start to clear out this weekend, and we start to see more of that sunshine come through for particularly your Sunday, and then the sun and the heat just continues into next week. Right now, forecast high temperatures looking about 79 degrees here in Spokane and Coeur d'Alene. That 79 though, high 70s depending on where you are, is going to feel cooler, particularly than we felt the past few because of the clouds. Like I mentioned, we're not going to get that intense sunshine like we have been seeing. For the rest of your day, as the 4th of July continues, we see the clouds stick around into your fireworks as well. So they're high to mid clouds, hopefully not interfering with some of your fireworks. But then by the time that 9 p.m., 10 p.m. time comes around, our temperatures are 70, potentially maybe high 60s. So it's still going to be nice when those fireworks are going off. This weekend, we start to see a chance for some isolated showers to move their way into the region. We actually start that chance today. There is a chance we see isolated showers for your 4th of July here in Spokane and Coeur d'Alene, but it's pretty small. As of right now, most of those showers are sticking south and east of us, and so there's really not much of a chance that those showers end up here. It really is mostly the cloud cover we're dealing with. Come this weekend, those chances increase though. 30 to 60% chance we see those isolated showers move their way through Spokane, Coeur d'Alene, Sandpoint, the entire eastern Washington, North Idaho region. If you get caught in one of those isolated showers, if they do pop up, they won't be so bad. They're going to just be 1/10 of an inch or less of rain. Sunday, you can see we start warming up, and then that warming trend continues into the next week as well. We have above average temperatures for your next week, and we see that stick through your 7-day forecast. We end up with 90-degree temperatures back on the map. So it is going to be hot next week. Be careful, but enjoy it, because hey, it's the middle of summer, and I don't know about you, but I kind of like it.
I like it too, and we always stress with the chance for any thunderstorms in the forecast, even if they are just quick pop-up thunderstorms. When thunder roars, go indoors. If you hear thunder, you are close enough to be struck by lightning. Not to scare you, but just have that backup plan ready to go. Now we're going to take you to Phoenix, where Ginger is going to talk more about those really, really hot temperatures headed their way next week.
I'm meteorologist Ginger Jeffries with a look at your weather out west. And oh boy, we had some active weather days in the past few days, all because of just the extreme heat. And then we followed that up with a sizable amount of monsoon moisture. When all is said and done, yep, we got some measurable rainfall, not just for one day, but 2 days. In addition, we saw hail and yeah, quite a bit of dust blanketing the region. But today, on this 4th of July holiday, we are looking spectacular. Take a look across the state. We don't have much monsoon moisture. There is still just a slight chance for some action in the southeast quadrant, but I really don't think it's going to impact much at all. Instead, we are starting to dry out, and courtesy of not just the wind that we're seeing in the higher elevations like in Kingman, but also the moisture that's been rolling through the arena. Check out these numbers. This is mild by our standards. I mean, how do you beat 78 today in Flagstaff under nice clear skies? We've got 104 in Phoenix, about 105 in Yuma, and lots of folks headed to Lake Havasu with daytime highs definitely manageable, especially when you're in the water at 107 degrees. Meantime, oh boy, did we have a light show once again. I love this. Our 12 News weather watcher sending us in so many photos of not just the lightning, but also, yeah, the hail coming down yesterday in East Flagstaff. Pea-sized hail, nothing too major, but still, we we did pick up some measurable rainfall in the region. Not record territory, but certainly anytime we pick up over an inch, yeah, that is something to write home about. Now, today, as far as the monsoon meter, which again is our gauge at seeing where the storms may potentially bubble up, we don't have anything from northern Arizona for the valley into western Arizona. However, through the rim and southern Arizona, just a slight chance at some of these pop-up showers. If they happen, they're going to be incredibly isolated and very light. As you can see, this is what I'm talking about. I mean, really not going to be a big impact for much of the state at all. And it's basically just a hint of moisture. But we are going to see some of these clouds streaking across the sky. It shouldn't impact the fireworks display. Instead, it's going to be sunny and dry with daytime highs right about 104 degrees. Now, where our averages are, look at this, 107. We're technically below the normal range. No complaints here, right? And look at those record territories. And the reason I bring those into play is by the early part of next week, we are going to be closely watching the records as we begin to warm up. So tonight, yeah, it's going to be spectacular. In fact, your day breaks down like this. We've got 80s in the morning, mid 90s through the noon hour. We are going to get those numbers up to triple digit strength before about 3 to 4 o'clock, looking to peak between 4 to 6. As far as what we typically see on the 4th of July, well, you just saw 107 is the norm. Take a look. Last 2 years, we were at 113 degrees. So it's pretty nice to enjoy what we consider mild conditions. So across the state tomorrow, as we get into the July 4th holiday, daytime highs are going to start climbing marginally. We're really just back to the basics, but this is also a sign that high pressure is in charge. So as we talk about high pressure, we're also talking about numbers that are climbing. What does that look like? Well, for higher elevations, with the absence of monsoon moisture, numbers are going to be in the mid 80s. And then next week, even though we're warming, we also have another monsoon developing right now. It looks like Flagstaff, you're going to be getting near 90 degrees with about a 30% chance at some monsoon moisture. Meantime, extreme weather once again for the valley. Daytime highs are going to be climbing. I've got you upwards of 110 starting on Sunday. We do have weather impact alerts starting on Monday through Thursday, as daytime highs are expected to peak at 15 on Wednesday.
115 degrees. Thank you so much, Ginger. At least the weekend's looking quite lovely. Coming up next, we're taking you to the Pacific Northwest. Really going to be a nice stretch of weather heading into the holiday weekend. That's just a little tease for you. We'll be right back. Welcome back, and thanks again for watching Weather Out West. Next, we're going to take you to the beautiful Pacific Northwest. First in Seattle, definitely not going to be record high temperatures. The hottest 4th of July on record, 92 degrees, so it's going to be far from that.
Well, happy 4th of July. I'm King 5 meteorologist Rich Merritt, and a great looking Independence Day headed our way. I was out earlier out at the Lake Union getting ready for the fireworks display out there. Looks like a beautiful day to be out and about during the day. And this evening looking pretty good, though overall, I think around Western Washington, particularly Puget Sound, you're going to want to take your sunscreen and maybe take a sweatshirt, because by the time we get to the end of the fireworks and you get back to your car, which sometimes is a little bit it's going to be getting a little chilly out there, so having some type of light wrap late today might be worthwhile, but certainly something you can layer with, because it's going to be warm during the day. Looking pretty nice there in Bellingham. We've got blue sky, just a few clouds kind of drifting through, and we are going to be looking for those clouds to gradually increase. You can especially see them there from our Queen Anne Tower cam looking south. Pretty good deck out there. There is a system that's moving primarily to the east of us, but it is going to rotate in some middle and high clouds later today for probably overcast skies tonight, but the base is going to be high enough that it won't interfere at all with the fireworks. In fact, it might even enhance them a little bit. Take a look along the coast. You can see a cloudy morning out there in Westport, and they're going to stay cloudy today. It looks like we're going to be seeing temperatures out there only getting to the upper 50s and low 60s. Checking the pollen count, good news there from yesterday. Trees and grasses remained in the low range, and with a little bit cooler temperatures, we dropped the weeds down into the moderate range, so in pretty good shape. Hopefully it'll give allergy sufferers a chance to take a little bit of a break. break. It's been pretty tough the last couple of weeks. Checking the Doppler radar, you can see it looks a little bit threatening. We do have some showers down along the Oregon border, but they're pretty much going to stay there and in southeastern Washington. We might see a couple creep up and the chance of a shower or a thunderstorm in the South Cascades on the east slopes, but that's going to be all we'll get out of that. Besides pretty good middle and high clouds over eastern Washington, it's going to turn them mostly cloudy as we head towards later on today. Take a look at our First Alert 7-day forecast. You can see today the coolest day of the next 7. We gradually warm over the weekend, and then as we head towards next week, we're going to warm right back up into the upper 70s to the low to mid 80s pretty much through the work week next week. Looking at the satellite image, kind of pretty. You can see the really feathery clouds associated with this system that's rotating up into the north and east there, and as it rotates through, it's sending the clouds over us. But again, precipitation with it is going to be primarily down in southeastern Washington, and even move out of there as we head towards later tomorrow. And then high pressure is going to build in off the coast very slowly over the weekend for some gradual warming, and then finally as it builds in here for next week, we're going to see those low to mid 80s most places during the work week. Temperatures, if you're headed out to the beach today, of course Puget Sound beaches always have cold water next to them. Lake Washington, including Lake Union, where the fireworks display in Seattle is going to be this evening, in the upper 60s to near 70 degrees, low 70s there for Lake Sammamish, and the smaller lakes will be probably in the low to maybe even a mid 70s this afternoon, and then rivers only in the upper 40s to the upper 50s as usual. Still a lot of snow melt in those rivers and streams. You might be able to squeeze in a baseball game this afternoon. Mariners are playing the Pirates, 1:10 for the first pitch. Mostly in the upper 60s at that hour and probably staying in the 70s during the game. So pretty good one to go out and enjoy before you head to the fireworks. Checking that fireworks forecast. So noon on through early to mid-afternoon as people are arriving, getting ready for those displays. Temperatures running mostly in the upper 60s to the low 70s. We'll see those clouds gradually thickening up, and it should be partly to mostly cloudy as we head towards 10 o'clock. We should see those displays. We'll be looking for those temperatures during the displays, low to mid 60s, but once you get those over with and start walking to your cars, which might take a while, temperatures down into the upper 50s and low 60s, which is why we're suggesting you might want to take a sweatshirt or some type of light wrap around. Over the weekend, we gradually warm up a few degrees both days with more sunshine. Then as we head into next week, it's looking sunny and warm with those high temperatures in the upper 70s and low to mid 80s all the way through the week.
Thank you so much, Rich. Now we're going to take you down to Portland, Oregon. Things are looking lovely there. The all-time record high temperature for the 4th of July, 97 degrees back in 1972. So far from that as well.
On this July 4th Friday, coming to you from the Rose City, Portland, where our #1 story here on the west side of Oregon continues to be comfortable temperatures. We've had so many July 4ths lately that have been around 90, and even some that have been pushing 100 degrees with record heat, but not this year. So, of course, the headline of the day is the fireworks display. We have a lot going on. We have our Blues Fest in downtown Portland along the Willamette River, and they will have a fireworks display this evening at 10 p.m. And this just shows you the temperatures this evening, including 64 degrees at 10. A northwest wind 5 to 10, we think 15 at most, and could be clearing out. We actually are picking up some cloudiness this morning from thunderstorms that have been, I'm going to say, raging overnight into the morning hours, moving up across central and eastern areas of our state. And that's our #1 story in terms of being concerned. So here's, I want to show you what the radars look like this morning. Everything moving south to north, multiple spots of storm development, and the Doppler radar does give you an idea of how active the lightning strikes have been. So at this time of the morning, we had over 100 strikes over the last 30-minute period. Most of the storms themselves, not all, but most have stayed outside of the resort areas of Sun River and Bend. But you can see a few strikes curling back into that region. We've also had lightning strikes in Burns and out toward John Day, and expect strikes out over the Blue Mountains a little bit later today. If you go back to Monday here in Oregon, we've had over 100 fire starts. Almost all of those, and quite frankly, maybe all of them, but certainly the majority, have been from lightning strikes. We've had lightning in our state in pockets of southern Oregon specifically every day going all the way back to Monday. Now, we have another red flag warning or fire weather warning today for the potential of lightning producing new fire starts, blanketing not all, but a good chunk of southern Oregon and extending northward up through Malheur and parts of Baker County along I-84 today as well. Now, when you get to the west side, we are all dry and kind of a varying batch of sunshine to cloudiness. You get more sun as you drop southward along the Oregon coast, and as you drop southward out of Portland, you find more clouds on this July 4th from Portland northward, and the same thing from the north coast up into Long Beach. This is beautiful, right? Chinook Winds Casino Resort in Lincoln City. Our coastal cities are always very busy on July 4th. Lots of folks, of course, loving to have fireworks on the beach. 47 degrees is the temperature. It's been a cool morning. Here are some clouds. These are debris clouds blowing off of those storms in central Oregon over our Mount Hood summit. Folks recreating today will find 60-degree temperatures at pass level up over the Cascades. And again, a mixed bag of clouds over Portland this morning from cloud blow-off from these storms. Now, Futurecast shows a second batch of storms coming up this afternoon. Here's the SNCS line coming out of southern Oregon and again moving up to the north, out to the northeast. If the modeling is correct, this will fizzle late evening, and then tomorrow will be the first day of the week with no thunderstorm activity in Oregon. In fact, Saturday and Sunday not only dry, but should be pretty much sunny to mainly clear across all of our state. And you can see this Saturday at 6 p.m. So let's get back to July 4th. We'll be low to mid 60s at our beaches, partly cloudy to maybe mostly sunny when you drop down in Lincoln City, Newport, and Depot Bay. Our valley forecast, partly to mostly sunny south of Portland. So that includes Salem at 77 degrees. Southwest Washington numbers will be a little bit cooler. There's going to be more clouds when you get up north of the Columbia River, but still 73 in Battleground and Clark County, pretty nice. 60s and 70s statewide, you can see here on the afternoon temperatures. And here's Portland's 7-day. Look at our weekend. 75 today, early clouds to clear tomorrow, 79. A mainly clear Sunday and 84. Warmer, but still comfortable.
Very nice in the Pacific Northwest, especially west of the Cascades. And into the second half of the break, in the second half of the show, we're going to take you to California, nationally, and then we're going to talk more science about fireworks. Stick with us. Welcome back to Weather Out West. I'm Ashley Ruiz. Next, we're going to take you to California, specifically Northern California, where the risk for thunderstorms really scaled back from the last couple of days. If you recall, talking the threat for a couple of thunderstorms, not so much the case for today.
Checking in on our Northern California holiday weekend forecast, I'm ABC 10 Chief Meteorologist Monica Woods. One of the most popular destinations of our holiday weekend for the 4th is going to be Lake Tahoe. We had gusty winds and not the best for boating for our Thursday, but Friday, calm and beautiful through the holiday weekend. As far as our thunderstorm risk, that is mostly going to be in the northern part of the state. One of the places that will be looking at the risk of afternoon thunderstorms is going to be Mount Shasta. Right now, at least for the morning hours, we are clear. Pacifica, right along the coast. You can see out to the Pacific Ocean, lots of low clouds and fog, partial clearing for today. That's over by San Francisco. Placer County in the foothills, things are very dry, but we've got clear skies. And in Sutter County, part of our big agricultural scene, sunny skies. And we want to thank everybody that grows the food to put on our table over the holiday weekend. Forecast highs for today, mid-80s to near 90 up and down the valley, 60s along the coast. We're near 80 to 85 degrees in the foothills and close to 70 for the Sierra. Unseasonably cool weather will continue for this Friday forecast. We've got a big game going on for Sacramento. It's the A's taking on the Giants. First pitch, 80 degrees down to about 70. Ideal baseball weather, ideal for everything today, including barbecuing and even for the fireworks around the region. We'll see those highs between noon and 6 o'clock. Mainly for Lake Tahoe, those highs are hit a little bit earlier in the day. For the valley, we hit those highs between 4 and 6. We're staying in the 80s by the time those fireworks displays start going off. We're in the 60s to near 70 through the valley, 50s for the Tahoe Basin. Fireworks and air quality in the valley in particular, because we sit in a bowl when those firework displays start going off, all that smoke, that PM 2.5 just sits here. Now we'll see some nice clearing overnight, and much of that will be clearing guided by these onshore winds. This is bringing us the cooler weather coming in for today. It's really prominent for our Friday forecast, backs off a little bit into our Saturday. Another thing to note, look at all this low cloudiness and fog along the coast. So for the holiday weekend, breezy for San Francisco to start us off. And then we've got the fog to take us through the weekend where highs are in the 60s. In the valley, we're looking at highs in the 80s, warming to the low 90s for Sunday. The foothills were in the 80s to near 90 over the holiday weekend. Tahoe Basin, again, we are dry with highs in the 60s, warming into the 70s, almost 80 degrees on our Sunday forecast. Regional temperatures for the 4th of July, 60s to near 70 for the Tahoe Basin, 70s and 80s throughout the foothills. Taking it south towards Yosemite, highs are going to be in the mid 80s for today, but inland areas from Fresno through Merced were in the 90s. Not bad considering we were sitting in the 100s just a couple days ago. Friday temperatures along the central coast were cool in Monterey, 58 degrees, Carmel 59. Head inland and we get into the 90s. We're cool all the way down to San Luis Obispo, 75 degrees. Better though than the 50s for the Monterey Bay Peninsula. Across the Bay Area, highs will stay in the 60s today. Inland areas in the 80s along the northwest coast. We've got some fogginess. Highs are going to be in the 50s, including for Fort Bragg, 80s and 90s throughout the interior sections where again we have that chance of late day thunderstorms. Through the Central Valley, highs will be in the mid 80s to near 90 on this 4th of July. Overnight lows falling into the 50s with our closer view across our capital region. Highs in the 80s for today. Considering that last year we were at 106, this is going to be a pretty good looking forecast here for the 4th of July. 7-day outlook, we stay near 90 over the holiday weekend, but the heat is on next week. Oh my goodness, summer heat making a return for the Central Valley. We'll be back near 100 for Wednesday, Thursday, and Friday of next week. A little bit cooler into the following weekend.
Thanks so much, Monica. Just dreaming about Lake Tahoe. So beautiful, and beautiful forecast as well. The beautiful weather is going to continue all the way down south to San Diego. Welcome back to Weather Out West. I'm Ashley Ruiz on this 4th of July holiday. Next, we're going to take you to San Diego, sunny San Diego, where the forecast looks pretty excellent.
Hello, everybody. Meteorologist Netta Irampur, and this is your Weather Out West in sunny San Diego. Look at this gorgeous day, 4th of we are showing off here in America's finest city. This is our view at Pacific Beach, Crystal Pier right there. Already early morning, people were lining up to get their parking spots, to put their towels out, their tents. Since 3 in the morning, we had people saying they were ready to get that prime location to be able to enjoy this entire day of beautiful weather on this 4th. And then they're staying all the way through the 4th of July fireworks shows that we have all around San Diego. This view is from Mount Soledad. There's Mission Bay, a very popular spot for jet skiing and boating and paddleboarding, you name it. People will enjoy all these activities with these really ideal conditions. I mean, we're going to call it picture perfect for this 4th here in San Diego, and you can see right here why hundreds of thousands of people are going to be right there. Yeah, everyone headed out west. So many visitors, friends, family coming to town to enjoy this right here. So for the weather headlines in San Diego on this 4th, we have picture perfect conditions, because we're going to be in the mid 70s at our beaches and sunny all day. I mean, 70s and sunny, to me, that's the most ideal weather. And that's what we're getting through the weekend, too. We are going to warm up into the middle of next week by a few degrees at the coast. Inland, it'll feel a little bit hotter. We'll get into that in a moment. But for your 4th of July forecast, check it out. 74 degrees. That's for the coastline. Mainly, we had the marine layer early this morning. By 8:30, it was gone. So that leaves us with sunshine all day today. Our sun will be setting at 8 p.m. here in San Diego. Those fireworks shows like the Big Bay Boom, the big popular one, that one starts at 9 p.m. So it does look like things should stay fairly clear for that. Until then, though, let's look at these afternoon highs. It's pretty nice. 86 in Santee and El Cajon. These are some of our hotter spots. So, of course, make sure you're, spending time in the hydrating, doing all the things you need to do. It's still, though, not too hot. 75 in National City, downtown 75. Pacific Beach, La Jolla, look at that, in the upper 60s today. Really nice, mild weather. A little bit warmer than yesterday, just by a degree or two, as the high pressure to build, we're not going to be too uncomfortable until the middle of next week. Still in the deserts, you're in the triple digits, 105, still obviously pretty toasty there. Looking at the fireworks forecast for you, by 6 o'clock, low 70s. Now 9 p.m. when most of the shows all around San Diego begin, mid 60s. So you may want a sweater or just a blanket, you know, just snuggle up. It'll be nice for all the fireworks to come through. The marine layer is expected to return, but that's likely not going to disrupt any of the fireworks. I don't expect any fog or anything like that tonight. Do need to warn you though about our beaches because there's a beach hazard statement through Saturday night at 11. 4 to 6 foot waves. We're not used to that in San Diego. That's not normal for us. This southerly swell is building, so that means the south-facing beaches, that's where you're going to notice some of those bigger waves that are coming through. Be careful. Strong risk of rip currents. The difference between high and low tide, good news, not a major change. So that actually means you don't have to move your towels or your tents further back because the high and low tide won't really change the shoreline. As far as the big picture goes, high pressure will be building. Let me show you what that means for your 7-day forecast here. At the beach, it just means we'll be inching our way to the upper 70s. By the middle of next week, inland areas, you're going to go from the upper 80s to the low 90s by the middle of next week, staying pretty hot next week in the mountains and especially in our deserts. But for now, I mean, this 4th of July, couldn't ask for better weather. Thank you for joining us. We hope you enjoy it. Happy 4th, everybody.
Thanks so much. Now we're going to take you nationally because even though it's nice and quiet on the West Coast, that's not the case everywhere. In fact, some heavy rain from a tropical mess essentially could bring some heavy rain to the coast of the Carolinas. Check it out.
I'm meteorologist Julie Martin with a quick look at your 4th of July holiday forecast. Could see a few strong storms in the high plains. Also, plenty of moisture over Florida. And will that turn tropical? Well, right now, here's a look from the National Hurricane Center looking at what we think this moisture will do, which would be to reemerge here after it drapes across northern Florida over the next few days. Maybe by the weekend, first part of next week, back out into the Atlantic, where it does have a 60% chance of turning tropical, according to the NHC. We'll keep an eye on that, whether it is tropical, subtropical, or nothing at all. It will produce a lot of rain, so flooding will be a concern from Florida to the Carolinas. Taking a look at our high temperatures for the 4th here, looking at 70s and 80s in New England, 90s from the mid-Atlantic down to the south. Also looking warm across the Midwest, Indy in the 90s there, as well as St. Louis. Looking here in the Pacific Northwest at a really nice mild spot though, from Seattle to Boise with the mid-70s to mid-80s. Denver looks nice too, in the 80s for you. And we'll see the 90s here across the Lone Star State. The feels like temperatures as we wake up this morning, well, in the 50s here in the Pacific Northwest, 58 in Sacramento, 64 in Denver. We'll start to see things rapidly warm up though across the eastern half of the U.S. That's where temperatures are certainly going to feel warm and humid by the afternoon from the mid-Mississippi Valley into the deep south. Places like Little Rock, you're going to be feeling like 102 degrees by 4th of July afternoon. So take it easy out there. I know many of you will be outside celebrating. Here's a look at that severe weather forecast, and overall we're staying relatively quiet across the U.S. for the 4th. We do have a slight risk, a marginal risk of some severe weather stretching from Minneapolis in through the plains here. That's a level 1 out of 5, which would mean on the very low end for maybe some isolated hail or damaging winds or a few heavy downpours. So just keep your eye on the forecast there. All right, here are those temperatures then as we head throughout the holiday weekend. Looking nice from Seattle to Spokane, Boise, everyone sitting in the 70s and 80s here. And into the south we go. The hot spot, of course, Phoenix with the triple-digit forecast for the holiday. Lone Star State, you will sit in the 90s, high 90s for you there in Houston on Saturday. And into the deep south we go with Atlanta and Little Rock, New Orleans, all going to be topping out in the 90s over the next several days. In the Midwest, we're looking warm also. St. Louis, 95 for your Saturday. We'll see 90s in Charlotte and Louisville with plenty of humidity on hand. So again, take it easy if you're outdoors for a long period of time. Get that water. Minneapolis for you, it looks like you'll top out in the 80s, as well as in Des Moines and Grand Rapids. Indianapolis will be warmer with maybe a few storms Sunday. Nice as we head into the east, though. No rain expected. Should stay nice and quiet with temperatures in the 80s and 90s.
Thanks so much. So coming up next, before we let you go for the holiday, we're going to talk a little bit more about the science behind the fireworks and the colors, in case you missed it. Also, we'll talk about AAA's top 10 travel destinations and the weekend forecast for that. Have you ever wondered what causes fireworks to be different colors? Turns out there's more science behind it that meets the eye. Adam Claybon digs into the pyrotechnics.
Hey there everyone, let's go ahead and talk about the science behind the colors of fireworks. And wanted to show you the colors and the corresponding element that goes with them. And we're going to start off with red right here. That's strontium. Orange, that's calcium. Yellow is going to be sodium. Barium is green. And I wanted to point out this color right here. That's copper, and that is going to be your blue. Now, I wanted to point it out because you get to the next column right here, copper and strontium. You combine those two together, you kind of get this pinkish, purplish sort of fuchsia color. And obviously when you combine red and blue, you're going to get a color that kind of looks like that, right? Magnesium and aluminum, that's going to come out more grayish. And then magnesium, aluminum, and titanium, well, that's going to come out white. Now, all of these colors and all the fireworks are going to create smoke. And that's something that we oftentimes like to try to get out of here because that can create some lower air qualities. Now, I wanted to point out what the wind is going to be looking like as we head closer to some of those fireworks shows here late into Friday evening. So this is 8:30 Pacific Daylight Time, so that means that will be 9:30 Mountain Daylight Time. Up this way around Denver for us, winds are going to be relatively light, so we might trap a little more of that smoke in the atmosphere, but I think overall we're going to get this to flow pretty nicely down this way around Phoenix, Sacramento, winds coming in at about 17 miles per hour, maybe a bit lighter down this way for us here in San Diego. Now, sunset's a bit later up this way around the northwest, and this is 10 p.m. heading into Pacific Daylight Time, and check out the winds. Most of us around that 10 to 15 mile per hour range. Spokane a little less up here at about 8 miles per hour, but either way, I think we're going to have some pretty nice flow to help to get this smoke and make its way on off towards the east to help that air quality from being too low. Another thing we like to keep an eye out for, hopefully it's a dry forecast, all right? And for many of us, I think it is going to be. Here's the forecast. Seattle, Portland, and in Spokane, all looking to be generally sunny and dry. Now, Boise, we do have an outside chance of seeing a storm heading into the 4th of July on Friday. But I think Saturday and Sunday, we're expecting things to dry out and maybe get a bit warm out there, maybe even a tad hot. For Denver, we're also going to see a chance of maybe a storm out there, and that's a chance that we're going to keep into play heading into Saturday and Sunday through the rest of the holiday weekend. But Sacramento, San Diego, us in Phoenix, all dry. Phoenix, we're going to be downright hot with temperatures in the low teens by Sunday. All right, everyone, happy viewing and happy 4th of July.
Adam Claybon out of Seattle. Next, we want to talk about the top 10 of July travel destinations, 4th of July travel destinations from AAA. So first, we're going to start because, you know, there's Disney World and so on and so forth. Daily thunderstorms. That is really just what happens every day. If you've ever been to the Florida Peninsula, you know, daily pop-up thunderstorms. And they're really just hit or miss. Seattle, number 2. And you heard Adam and you heard Rich talk about how beautiful it is going to be for the Emerald City. Now, next is New York City, 87, partly cloudy, going to be fine for some of these destinations. In fact, per AAA, we have New York City and then Boston tend to have some of the most popular fireworks shows in the nation. Anchorage, of course, all of those fun Alaskan cruises. Things might be a little murky there, but still beautiful. Fort Lauderdale, same goes. Some pop-up thunderstorms, highs in the upper 80s, lower 90s, and it's going to be very humid. Honolulu going to be stunning as always, a little windy as well, and nice and warm. Denver, as you heard, going to be hit or miss, and then Miami also going to have some afternoon thunderstorms, very typical there. Boston looking lovely, and then Atlanta, 90s, partly cloudy. Happy 4th of July. We want to thank you so much for joining us this week on Weather Out West. We hope you'll join us next week as well.